Good afternoon, everyone. Friday, end of another week, and we're ended it. Pretty good week, not too bad, and so we're thankful for yet another week that He's allowed us to see. So it's one of those things. I'm sorry, forgot to take my earbuds out. Oh, my earbud out. I'm sorry. It's one of those things. I don't know. Sometimes you forget. So, sorry for that. But nevertheless, thankful for another week. So today we're going to talk about something, make current event. And every once in a while I'll do that, like I did with the coronation of King Charles. And I probably need to be doing more of that. So today we're going to talk about the big topic in the room, and that's immigration. Specifically, what went out of effect or was discontinued or ended. I think it was last night, I believe. The Title 42 hoopla that's going on. Basically, Title 42, in layman's terms, was the COVID protocol for immigration. Okay, it allowed the country to kind of just boot them out for people either who had it, who they felt might have had it, or whatever it is. And I haven't read the title, so I don't know it verbatim, as maybe some of y'all do, but that's the gist of it. So my thing is, okay, so Title 42 ended. Okay, that was basically, again, the COVID protocol. Okay, well, the World Health Organization, as well as the government, had said it's no longer, a national emergency. Okay, so what's the problem? Honestly, I don't know, because honestly, our borders are holes in the first place. So that hasn't changed any. Has it gotten worse? I guess it depends on who you watch and who you listen to and whatnot. I don't know. Well, I guess it can get worse, but it's already porous. We're already, quote unquote, for lack of a better word, being invaded. And immigration is a touchy subject because, again, we're a nation of immigrants, but the laws that are in effect obviously weren't in effect when, immigrants were coming to this country, a century plus ago. Okay. Plus, a lot of the immigrants then were coming in through a port of entry. Ellis Island, that kind of thing. So everybody was being vetted, through, a port of entry. Well, now, of course, we know that immigrants are coming through whatever means necessary. And unfortunately, with our current policies, we are treating the immigrants better than we treat American citizens, which is absolutely wrong, no matter how you slice it, no matter how you feel about it, whether you agree with it or not. Treating non-American citizens better than American citizens is wrong, no matter what. That's just wrong, period. That's wrong, and I don't agree with it. Immigrants get more benefits than American citizens do, than some American citizens. And that's the truth, and that's a fact. That's not my opinion. So, and in other countries, we wouldn't be able to just walk ourselves across the border. We might get shot. We'd certainly get thrown in jail. Try to go across the border in Mexico and see what happens. You'll be thrown in jail. That's a fact. So why is it that we have to have a porous border when almost every other country in the world doesn't? It's because of extreme liberal policies. It's because of the fact that they believe because we were founded as a nation of immigrants, we should just let everybody know we can't do that because that's not financially sustainable. Now, if we have a society where money doesn't exist anymore, and everybody's able to have the same opportunities to do everything, then that's a whole different animal. But financially, any country, not just the United States, any country cannot sustain mass immigration, unchecked, unfeathered immigration into a country. The system that we have in place cannot sustain that. Okay, again, that's just a fact. We are a country in trillions of dollars in debt. All we're doing is bringing more and more and more debt. So either way, that's not helping it at all. So it's a mess. I think Title 42, in my opinion, now this is my opinion, is being overblown because, again, basically and there might be more to it that I'm missing. It's entirely possible. Let me know in the comments if I'm missing something. But last time I checked, Title 42 was a COVID protocol. The border's already open and messed up. So it's not like Title 42 is going to change any of that. But what Title 42 did is it allowed Border Patrol and immigration to basically kick more people out because of COVID protocols, because of health issues. Because we know a lot of third world countries don't get the same medical treatment that we do in here in America, in a first world country. That's a fact. They don't get all the shots that we get. They're not immunized the way we're immunized. That's just a fact. Whether that's good or bad, that's not for me to say. But that's just the way it is. And so there are a lot of things that we protect American citizens from that are the norm in other countries because they don't get vaccinated for it. And you don't want to allow people to come into this country just any old way, carrying diseases and whatnot that have been eradicated in this country, and they start bringing them back in again. So, I mean, that's a health issue. And that's why you don't need open borders just on that alone. Because are these people that even go through port of entry, are they going through a medical exam? Are they being checked? Probably not. Especially now the the Title 42 is over with. So this is part of the problem. You know, just on the basic health issues. We're not even talking about the financial issues that our country is burdened with. And that we take away from American citizens to give to non-American citizens who are not even coming in legally. Okay, and there's a separation between legal and illegal, and unfortunately, the legal ones are very small. And as I've stated in previous videos on my page, the legal process in this country is old, outdated, and way too long. It needs to be totally revamped, because that is part of the problem. Our legalization system is part of the problem. Because folks that want to do it the right way have to wait almost a decade to become a citizen, and that's ridiculous. That's outrageous. Sometimes longer, it just depends on the backlog. That's outrageous. It shouldn't be. So hence the reason why people don't come in legally, because it's too long. But nobody wants to address that issue. Nobody wants to solve that problem. And that's the easiest problem to solve. So now what's happening is, you know, as usual, political infighting between the two parties, because nobody can come to some sort of a compromise. Nobody takes the bigger picture on this. And the bigger picture is not, oh, we just got folks that want to come to this country and then turn them into voters. No, the bigger picture is, what are they bringing to the country? What skills are they bringing to the country? Yes, this country needs cheap labor. Yes, we do. So first and foremost, they're bringing cheap labor. Okay, get it, got it. Okay, we see it every day. Okay, and I don't fault them for that. I'm like a lot of other people. If they're truly leaving a bad situation to come to a better situation, then yeah, I'd do the same thing. But most cases, it's not. Okay? They're exploiting our loopholes in the legal system. We have laws in the books, but they're exploiting loopholes. The current administration is allowing people to just come willy-nilly across our border for nothing. That's not sustainable. They know it, we know it, but they don't care. See, that's the problem. And you don't have to be Republican or Democrat to see that, because this is not a political issue. This is a human issue. And it's not to say we're against immigrants, but they need to follow the law. And unfortunately, our government is not following the law. They're ignoring the law that's on the books and allowing these people to come across by any means necessary. If you don't believe me, go ask a go find out from Border Patrol. Find out all the testimonials you get from Border Patrol about how difficult their job is when they only have the support of their own government, their own employer. They don't have the support of their own employer. You know how hard it is to work in a place where you don't have the support of your employer? I know. I deal with it every day. It's a difficult situation. It's very draining, very stressful, very demeaning, very demoralizing, whatever adjective you want to use. And they have a difficult job as it is, because there's not enough of them, and we have such a large border. You know, and anytime a state wants to take it upon themselves to do it, then the government wants to sue them, because they don't want to protect the border. Anytime you see the press secretary, what's her name? I can't remember her name now. Say that this and don't believe nothing she says, because the government don't care. Because if they did, then we wouldn't be having this problem. The government don't care. The current administration don't care. Secretary Mayorkas, the Homeland Security Secretary, don't care. Because I've seen and heard testimonials of sheriffs in different states and counties say the problems they're dealing with, and they're being ignored. How is that supporting your law enforcement when you don't support law enforcement? And all they're doing is enforcing the law that's on the books. They're not even trying to create new ones. They're just trying to enforce the law that's on the books. And then they get the thing that, well, you know, the border is a federal problem. Yes, it is a federal problem. But if the states are willing to help the federal government out in that problem, then let them help. If they're willing to spend their own money to help secure the border that the federal government's supposed to be doing, then let them do it. Don't sue them because you want an open border, because you know the people that you bring across the border are voters, and they're going to vote for your particular party. And they're not even legal to vote. But yet we know that states allow illegals to vote. Wrong. It's wrong. Like dead people voting. We know it happens all the time. So it's a lot with this immigration issue. And I think, honestly, the Title 42 thing is being overblown. I think that the border is already a mess. Title 42 didn't make it any better or any worse, to be perfectly honest. Well, no, I take that back. It may have made it worse because, like I said, the COVID protocols kept a lot of people out. Now you're going to have a surge. So, okay, I take that back. My fault. The ending of Title 42 has made it worse, but it was already bad. So the media is overblowing, well, at least parts of the media are overblowing Title 42 to an extent because it was already bad. All this does is just make it worse. And it's already bad. So, okay, but in all honesty, it was going to end eventually anyways. That's why I'm saying they're overblowing it. It was going to end eventually. Because again, the main crux of it was the COVID protocol. Okay, well, the World Health Organization ended that. The government ended it on the 11th. So, of course it's going to end. Why wouldn't it? And again, there could be more to Title 42 than I know. And if that's the case, great. Put it in the comments. Let me know. But I know the big portion of it was a COVID protocol, which actually helped Border Patrol because, again, it kept a lot of people out because of health concern, which is viable. And in fact, we should still have Title 42, but not necessarily just for COVID, but for all other things that these countries may have that don't exist in America now. We should have it just as a regular protocol because these people that come over the border illegally need to be checked medically. You don't know what they're bringing. Even our broke down school systems do better than that. They require you to have a shot record and make sure that you're vaccinated for whatever stuff they want you to be vaccinated for, depending on which grade you go in and what age you are. Even our broke down, busted up public school system is better than the Homeland Security. At least they require proof of shots. If you really want to help the immigrants, make them take shots as soon as you get them to the port of entry or wherever you take them. Force them to get shots. Because if you don't, they're going to infect citizens with things that may not exist in this country anymore, or have been eradicated. If you really want to help American citizens, make them take shots, like we have to do for our children before they go to school. So if we're forcing American citizens to get shots, why aren't we forcing illegals to get shots? Why? Why are we not doing that? That's a question nobody's asking at all. So, the immigration issue, depending on which side of the aisle you lean on, which political ideology you agree with, is going to, of course, be different. And I have no problem with immigration, as nobody does with legal immigration, because that's the way it has to be done now. We can't just let folks just cross over the border anytime they feel like it. Almost no other country in the world does that. So why do we put down people who want to protect our borders when if they were to go to another country and try to cross illegally, they'd be thrown in prison? So what makes us any different? Since you want to be like the world, then why aren't we protecting our borders like other countries do? That's another question nobody's asking. Try to cross into Mexico and see what happens. Try to cross into Canada and see what happens. I'm telling you, these other countries don't mess around. Why are we? So this is a real hot topic, but it's a topic that's not being discussed rationally, as I talked about in my other vlog. It's something that's not being talked about rationally with common sense, and where there has to be compromise. There has to be compromise because the two sides are so opposite ends of each other that you got to be able to come to a compromise. Not everybody's going to get what they want. In fact, neither side's going to get everything they want. But if you can come to a compromise, the country will benefit from it. This is what gets lost in the shuffle. The American citizens are kicked to the curb and thrown under the bus because the government don't care about us. If they did, they would compromise and they would secure the border. They would put policies in place that make it better for American citizens and even better for people who want to come to this country. But they don't want to. They don't want to do that. They don't want to fix the legalization system that desperately needs to be fixed. And that's the easy part. But everybody's got agendas on both sides. Everybody's got agendas, and nobody cares about the American citizen. That's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. The other part of the problem is that because the United States is in desperate need of cheap labor, especially now that nobody wants to work anymore because of COVID and the government giving people money to not work, we need cheap labor. And of course, illegal immigrants provide cheap labor and fill in the gaps. So the other part of the problem is that we as American citizens now find ourselves, we too good to do real work anymore, like we did back in the day. Like my folks and my grandparents and their parents. We're too good for that now. And so what we've done is we've created our own monster. And so if we were to protect the border like we're supposed to, and if we were to enforce law like we're supposed to, then we probably wouldn't have very much cheap labor around, and we'd probably really be in trouble. So it's a two-sided coin here. It's a double-edged sword. You know, there's a lot of moving parts to this. But somehow we got to come to a compromise. We got to stop all this political wrangling and idiocy and come together and make a compromise that's best for the country. Stop thinking about yourself. Stop thinking about the people you want to try to please. Think about the country as a whole and what's best for the country. That's what politicians are supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to serve at what's best for the country, not what's best for us, and not what's best for your particular party or groups or whatever. What's best for the country as a whole, regardless if they agree with you or not. That's what we need to be doing. So I'm going to end it on that. If you have any comments, leave them below. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Please like. That helps the algorithm. Helps me out. So please do that. I appreciate everyone that's visited my videos and has liked and left comments. I appreciate all of you. Again, if you're going to leave comments, be respectful. Again, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. If you like what you're hearing, tell somebody else about it. Again, I appreciate all of you that have became members. I don't have many, but I appreciate all 21 of y'all so far. Hey, don't despise small beginnings. And again, visit my son's website, philmartin.org. It's in the description. It'll be in the description below. That's PHILL Martin, MARTIN.org. And so until next week, we will talk again. God bless you.